Hi everybody, this model here, it's not a fantastically detailed model, but it is to recognise the building of the Union Rotorua and the Union Rotoiti, both vessels that I actually worked on back in the day, and they were launched around 1976, and they were gas turbine electric vessels, twin propulsion and 6.6 kV single generator from the Thomson gas turbine. From memory, the generator was a General Electric. Unmistakable silhouette of the big R's, and one of the highlights of my visit here today to the Maritime Museum at Whyalla, South Australia. This wall here has got all of the models of ships that were built here at the shipyard. I'll try and do it some justice, but the lighting level is quite low. I would imagine that they'll have this on their website where you could spend a bit more time analysing each of them. The model isn't too bad actually. We've got the winch area for the stern ramp. Unfortunately they don't have the stern ramp included. I got a feeling they've got the I think they've got the funnel in the wrong position actually. Here are the elephant houses for the container platforms, used to run the containers between the decks. My cabin was over in this corner here. That was the electrician's cabin. 2 electricians on this ship. It's not a bad model though. I'm glad I've come to see it, that's for sure. Certainly one of the highlights of my trip to Australia this time, and this was on my bucket list to come and visit the Maritime Museum, which I was told more about before I arrived by a dear friend of mine, Captain Chris Barradale, who calls this area of the Spencer Gulf the Iron Triangle. Says it was known as the Iron Triangle. You can certainly see why. Port Augusta, Port Pirie, Whyalla. We've got a platform here as well. Detail on this one. Some of you may know more about it. Oh, the Iron Monarch. Well, there's a good example of stern ramp. Fairly similar to the Rotorua and Rotoiti, but a little different. And it was a two-piece ramp, but we had large hydraulic rams. This model was quite detailed actually. So some of the models are very detailed. The Iron Hunter, so these look like big ore carriers. There's just so much here to take in, it's a little bit overwhelming actually. So one more look at the big R's, and then I'm moving on to another part of the museum. Yeah, unmistakable. Few things missing. We don't have the bow visor winching mechanism in place. But yeah, she's a general overview silhouette of the ship. She's pretty honest as far as that part goes. You can certainly recognise that it was the model of the Rotoiti and the Rotorua. Yeah, that's right, the Rotorua was built first and I was on here, and then later went on to the Rotoiti. Sadly, many of the men that I sailed with on these vessels have now passed away. One of my highly respected chief engineers, Jim Brigham, passed away just a couple of years ago, and he was an absolute expert in every respect of these vessels. He was alongside the builds and knew these vessels inside and out, and a very, very capable chief engineer in every respect, highly respected throughout the Union Steamship Company, that is for sure. So I'm hoping that some of you will view this video. It's not easy for everybody to get to a place like this. The drive was absolutely incredibly long from Melbourne. It's well over 1,000 kilometres, I think maybe about 12 to 1,300 kilometres to get up here. So you gotta really be committed to come here, that's for sure. But I'm really glad that I made the journey. Okay, let's see what else there is to see in this wonderful place.